Hi, welcome to this Quick Tips tutorial. My name is Phil Sempravivo and I am the creator of the Quick Tips series concept. Each video in this series presents important tips that can help you to become a more effective communicator. In this video, we present tips that focus on the subject of business writing style. Now, in business, writing is a primary way whereby we convey information to and share knowledge with one another. The successful business leader will be a skilled writer who is able to present complex business issues in a very clear manner. In fact, clarity of message is at the core of what we seek to achieve in business writing. In this video, we will provide 7 tips on how changes to your writing style can be used to add clarity to your writing. Let's proceed now in that direction. Okay, let's move right along here and look at quick tip number 1. Whenever possible, avoid long, complex sentences. Instead, keep it simple, short, and to the point. These more concise sentences will deliver the point that you want to make quickly and with a lot of punch. Now here's an example. Now what we don't want to say is something like this. After exploring many avenues of possible action and giving each its fair share of consideration, we have concluded that it is time to consider withdrawal from the discount books market. Really? What we do want to say is something much more direct like this. We recommend withdrawal from the discount books market. Which brings us now to our second quick tip of the day, namely, keep the wording as simple as possible. The goal here is to promote understanding by as many people as possible. That is why we write clearly and concisely. It is not to showcase one's command of the English language. Now here's an example. If we want people to understand us, then we're not going to say something like, "This is a business enterprise, not an eleemosynary institution." No. Rather, we will say something like, "This is a business, not a charity." A good writer can put a lot of information into a relatively short space, which gets us to this next quick tip, number 3. Suggests that writing down into small, digestible sections. It is also appropriate to give these sections meaningful names like key research findings or primary market target. Whenever possible, we should do this because this technique helps the reader to mentally organize what they are reading, and it will help them to better understand and remember the key points in what you are writing about. Now, quick tip number 4 is a tip with a caveat associated with it. First, the tip. Use narrative examples whenever appropriate. Narrative examples can be extremely valuable in helping to clarify a point. However, a word of caution is advisable here, namely, be sure to keep the narrative example limited to serving as a clarifying example. Don't fall into the trap of letting it meander into becoming its own story, consuming a great deal of time. Now here's an example of a brief narrative example. ABC Corporation's drop in retained earnings last quarter was the equivalent of an 800-point drop in the Dow Jones Industrial Average. Let's take a look now at quick tip number 5. It suggests that we use visuals, such as graphs, charts, and pictures, to add meaning to the written word. That's a very good idea, but just be sure that they clearly convey, without exaggeration, the point that you're trying to make. For example, be sure that a graph depicting a 10% sales drop does not look like a doomsday scenario. Here's an example. The scaling that we use in a chart or in a graph can be very leading or misleading. What we want to be sure in our example, a graph designed to show a 10% drop in sales looks like this, not like that. Now, I view quick tip number 6 as being extremely important because for major points, reinforcement of those points can be a very, very effective writing tool. Our suggestion here, our tip here, is that for major points, don't shy away from reinforcing them, even through repetition. Now, reinforcement will help to underscore the importance of the key points you want to make. I mean, just be sure to state your point in a different way each time, not exactly the same. But if you do that, it's always worth reinforcing a key point. And now we come to our final quick tip number 7. If the audience that you are writing to are as important as the topic you are writing about, then always follow quick tip number 7. That is, state your conclusions first. Then follow your conclusions with the detail of how you arrived at those conclusions. This is a bold, attention-grabbing approach to writing, and no one will be left wondering what the punchline is, that is for sure. There are a lot of other points that could be made about how to add clarity to your business writing style, but the 7 tips presented in this tutorial can be readily integrated into your writing style and produce positive results almost immediately. However, as with most learned things, you need to practice using these writing style changes until they become quite natural. Well, good luck with practicing these changes to your writing style. And I hope that you will take the time to listen to the other tutorials in my Quick Tips series as I release them. Thank you for your attention.